All right, so hopefully this SD card has enough memory to get us through the day. We're currently gonna start, well, my guys are already out there. I'm heading there now with some of the materials on the trailer. We're gonna be in Port St. Lucie today and possibly tomorrow, trying to get this roof completed. It's about 30 squares, few skylights, a lot of hip, a lot of ridge, and we literally just left ABC. We were waiting there for about 45 minutes, but finally got everything loaded up. Got to go a little slow with this trailer because I have a lot of the weight in the middle back, so got to be careful when I drive. Can't do anything crazy. But yeah, I'm going to show you guys exactly how our day goes today and everything we're going to be doing to get this roof back in shape. So I will clock back in the next hour once I make it to Port St. Lucie. All right. So we just made it over to Port St. Lucie. This is one of our investors' home. They are renovating. It's roughly 30 squares, a lot of shingle. We got the dump trailer in here. We got most of the debris already off. I'm gonna give you guys a quick look at everything that we're doing today. There's a few areas where the house had some ceiling falling off, so we didn't know how bad the wood was gonna be, but we're finding out now that everything is off. ¿Cómo estamos, papi? Buenos días. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Está bien? Buenos días. ¿Está bien? Buenos días, buenos días. Hello, Alex. Hello? ¿Cómo estás, Pablo? A ti siempre te ponen a hacer lo más difícil. ¿Cómo estás, man? ¿Y la familia, ven? ¿Y cómo pasaste el Día de las Madres, bien? Qué bueno, man. Pecha mierda, tati. Okay, so as you can see, this entire property has cold drill. That's the ridge vent. This is the typical cheaper stuff that they use. It's pretty much made like the same as a fish filter. And the problem is, after a long period, it degrades. It gets thinner and thinner, and then it doesn't allow a lot of air to escape. The new stuff is completely different. It's fully vented. But we're going to be replacing it with new Cobra. The client wants to maintain the skylights where they are, which is completely fine by us. But we're going to have to reseal it. As you can see, there's stress cracks already. They'll probably have to deal with this at some point. Like, we need to save money. Skylights are not cheap. Typically, each one can go for $600-700. And as long as we seal it correctly, they should be fine. But as you can see, once skylights are eaten up by the sun, they'll typically have stress cracks. There's a glass in the top and there's a glass in the bottom. So sometimes the water can get trapped between the glass and then it leaks in. So, but not to worry. They're gonna make this look good. A whole lot of ridge. But you can see right there that they have an AC and the pan. Oh, it's pretty nice. This GoPro can see it. And the pan is filled with water. I think that's what happened, where a lot of the drywall inside started falling down. Ahí está el aire acondicionado lleno de agua. Igual que por ejemplo, tú ves esta casa de 2 pisos, brother, la cantidad de material y mierda que lleva, imagínate.
Y cuando te dan estimado por 8 pies es una cosa, cuando te dan estimado para 10 pies es otra, porque ya necesitan scaffolding, necesitan...
Sí, sí.
You got the chamber coming in tomorrow. We're going to schedule inspection for tomorrow as well. So hopefully we'll get this roof completed by Thursday. The groin's going to go with birchwood, which is the standard day 2 shingle. That's from GAF. It's like a light grayish clean. And then we're going to use polyglass IRXC, which is a sulfur-adhered material. The drip bit is going to be 3-inch. And I'd say we're going to be going to Home Depot, get a little bit more supplies, and we'll be coming back, see how the guys are doing. But so far, so good. All right, so right now we're pulling up to Home Depot. There's a few items I like buying at Home Depot instead of the regular supply stores, mainly because here they have some specific things that not necessarily are cheaper, but in the pack you'll have more quantities. So I'll show you guys some of the things that we buy here, and it's only about 8 minutes away from the job site. Sometimes when we have Saturdays or Sundays where everything is closed, we like getting our stuff here. Morning.
Morning.
All right, so let's see if we find it. One of the items that we're going to be looking for are the screws that we use for skylights. They're special screws because at the middle there's a washer that's rubberized, and what it does is help seal it. It helps protect against rust long term, and they always have it in a special location in Home Depot. So let's see if we can find them today. Hey, quick little thing for anyone out there that ever wants to seal their roof. Always get the more expensive one. This is silicone. There's a giant difference between silicone and then acrylic. This acrylic stuff is more like a paint. If you ever want to seal your roof 100%, you need silicone. So let me see. Hopefully they have it. There's 2 items I need today. We need the screws, and then we need an electrical flashing mask. Massive flash. Not this one. There's a special boot that's utilized for sealing the electrical posts. Let's see. If they don't have them here, we might end up having to go to a supply store. I just figured usually you'll find them here at Home Depot, you'll find them at Lowe's and Porcelain Lucie only. In West Palm Beach, they don't have it. Very odd how you travel to a different location and some of the products change completely. So let's just look for these screws right now, and then we'll see what we can do. All right, looks like I'm gonna have fun looking for these. No. All right, I'll get back to you guys when I finally find this thing. All right, so we found it. So these screws right here, this is what you need if you're ever working in a skylight. They have these rubber washers and this is what helps seal it. I went with the number 12 diameter, and it's pretty cheap. So we're gonna go ahead with these, and the last thing we need is the rubber flashing for the electrical post. Let's see where we can find it. All right, so we saw that there is a Lowe's only 2 minutes away. So we're going from Home Depot to Lowe's to see if they have the last item we need for the day, and we should be all good to go. Just gonna swing over there and just check it out real quick because it's such a close distance. Most times I end up having to drive to Beacon or to ABC, the closest one nearby, but we have a Lowe's. We're gonna check that out. Lowe's is very strange because it's one of those supply stores that they are very close to every Home Depot, yet you will go to a Lowe's and you will not see many people. Compared to a Home Depot, is always busy. However, Lowe's usually has items that you don't see in Home Depot. So we're gonna get it checked out just because usually we find what we need there, and it's always some unique item that we need to complete the project. I told you guys before that one of the main reasons why we stick to GAF is because it's one of America's oldest Chingo brands. But again, if you are ever running into an emergency, GAF is always found inside of a Home Depot, inside of a Lowe's. And if you look at the quality of the GAF material, it's pretty good quality. Also, they're not the cheapest material out there. You'll find cheaper prices with Certainteed. Sometimes you'll find cheaper prices with Tamco, the Heritage brand model. But GAF, they've been going up in price for the last 2 or 3 years. When we first started roofing, I think a bundle of shingle was around $24, $25, and right now they're topping $37, $38. So sometimes in Home Depot you'll see a bundle of GAF for $40, $42. So prices on shingle has gone up a lot. I don't know how, because a lot of this material is made with bitumen, it's made with asphalt. So hopefully a lot of these prices go down. That way some people can get the roof they need and not break the bank. So we're pulling up to Lowe's. We'll get it checked out, see if we can find what we need, and then we'll be back to the project site. And after that, we got a lot of computer work to do. I've already scheduled the inspection for tomorrow. We will be taking some of those pictures we need, and just for the inspector, so everything is ready to go. But show you guys the next step over here. All right, so we made it to Lowe's. Let's see if I can find this on the spot without asking for help. It was actually pretty cool when I was at Home Depot. I asked for help and these guys walked me straight to where it was. It was not in the location that it typically is. So let's see if I get lucky here and find exactly what I need without having to ask for help. This is a cool thing about Lowe's. It's the only place you're gonna find Cobra. That's the ridge vent that I was talking about. This allows air to escape the ridge of the attic. And the only box retail store that I've been able to find that is Lowe's. No one else has it. I've been to over 10, 20 Home Depots. They don't have it. All right, we're out of luck. Seems like we're gonna be driving. Seems like we're gonna have to drive to a supply store to get one of these things. That's annoying. But it is what it is. Things like this happen, and a 30-minute drive turns into 2 hours. But here we are. All right, so we are leaving Lowe's. They did not have it. However, there is a Beacon only about a few minutes away. So we're gonna go check out Beacon. I'm pretty sure they have it. I already called. So one little item that we don't have sometimes can turn into an hour driving around. So it's super important to have 100% preparation. Nothing is ever perfect. Things are always going to arise, but when you're doing a roof, there's so many moving materials and pieces and surprises, because you can check out a whole project before, and sometimes you can miss one little thing, and here we go. But project managers on site, I'd rather have the project manager on site doing what he needs to do, making sure everything is going well. And since I'm in the area, I'll get this taken care of and we'll move on, okay? So I'll get back to you guys once we have everything and we're back at the job site. All right, we are back on top of the roof. For the most part, it has been cleaned up. The guys just need to get all these valley sections off before we can do the renailing and start putting in the layment on the roof. You got the 3-inch drip edge. We got the polyglass IRXE. Got about 20 rolls of these things. It's gonna be just fine for this house. Got 20 rolls of this. One thing that you gotta know if you're ever driving a trailer, you gotta make sure that debris gets pushed forward. Because it can be very dangerous when you go over 40, 50 miles an hour and you got all the weight in the back. Yeah. These are all the flashing sections on this roof. You can see that it was re-nailed recently. These nails are 4 inches apart, so it passes already. That's the electrical post that we went to go get the boot for. You see how here they did it with drip edge. The problem with when you do it with the drip edge is that over a period of time, the concrete bowl that you set inside of it, that bitumen starts to crack and sink. So it creates a ponding section for that water. And what can happen is, over a long period of time, you can get that deterioration around it. So all these sections where you got wall and roof, you're gonna have a flashing section. So they actually installed the valley. They didn't do a regular flashing. Most of these sections here will have just a 4x5 flashing, but instead, looks like they put a valley, so it's probably going up to about here and covering down, which is a little bit better. Gives us a little bit more wiggle room. The metal looks fine, it's not rusted. But, you know, separations like these are not good. It is cracked, very, very thin. So we're gonna have to do a really good repair right there to get this thing back in it. Not a whole lot of rotted wood, which is really good. One of the good benefits about a 612, 712 pitch is that you get a lot of water runoff. It's a little issue right there that could have been just over time. Minimal. But overall, the roof is in good standing conditions. Typically, the number one thing we look for is rotted wood. Preserve longevity, make sure our warranty sticks. This most likely cracked from stress over time. It's not a very thick piece of metal. And you can tell like a lot of the fascia is in good conditions too. But the problem is if you don't paint the fascia over there, for a period of time it starts to look really bad. It looks almost rotted, but it's not rotted. It's just that it's not being taken care of. Look, here's section 2. This is not an easy roof. Whenever you got a lot of roofs like this with a lot of hips, and then you got flashing around the hips, it requires a lot of detail, requires a lot of sealing around. We're gonna make sure this goes well. We're gonna make sure it looks good. Gotta stay positive. As we ramp into summer season, the heat only increases, and it makes life on top of our roof pretty stressful. And the better we can do these jobs, the better quality we can leave for the client, the less issues we can find ourselves in the future. So, and again, we want to make sure that we can get new clients from the neighborhood. We want to make sure that they're happy with the work we do as well, just as our own client. We're going to get down from here, probably going to get some lunch, and we'll be back later today. All right, we are back at the job site. Right now we're working on all the valleys, the flashing, as you can see, and that is one installed. Right now the guys are doing the drip edge. Every 4 inches is a wing chain view. That's the flashing I was here before. We're repairing it so we can reseal it. All the drip edges already installed all around. There's where the skylights were. Like when you're putting the skylight right after. The valley, which is the metal that detects the area that's going to accumulate the most rainwater. Needs to be super sealed.
Ahí terminan, güey. Ah,
We have inspection scheduled for tomorrow. That's when the inspector will come in. They're going to check the underlayment. They're going to check the drip edge. We're going to see that everything's washed correctly, that everything's sealed how it's supposed to. We'll have to make sure that the skylight is secure with the right screws. That's before we can go ahead and install the shingle. We will have the shingle being delivered tomorrow.
Después tengo unos 4 o 5 videos ya en YouTube. Oh, en YouTube están. Sí, no, estoy teniendo bastante. Saliendo, está saliendo.
Italiano, ¿por qué vas a llegar ya?
Ya da cuenta capucha que ya lo tienen en el techo. Sí, pasar, que bueno, usted, ¿no? Pero mira, ese, la siguiente, esas 4, tienen que ser. Y también que ese parece como de. No sé si de la cantera para el otro. En el video, ¿cómo se llama ese? El church en sí. El church en sí. Parece que no.
All right, so right now we're about to reinstall the skylights. They're doing all the bull around the valleys. All the underlayment is fully installed.